Well, let's talk about the digestive system. The digestive system is broken down into several major organs: your mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and anus. And here is a drawing of the system where you have your mouth, your esophagus, the stomach, the small intestine, and then the large intestine, and then out through your rectum and to the anus. You'll see the liver is here, the pancreas, and the gallbladder. Now these organs are also in the endocrine system because they produce hormones as well. So these can be considered either the digestive system. Usually they're put with the digestive system, but you could classify them as important participants of the endocrine system. They produce hormones, especially the pancreas. One of the most important hormones in your body, insulin, is produced here at the pancreas. Now consider please that we've discussed several times now this idea that you are a tube inside a tube, that we could break you down if we simplify the drawing, this drawing here, and we decided to say, well, instead of going through the trouble of drawing all these structures, what if instead of doing all the details of the human body, we just drew a tube inside a tube? Could we learn something from that? And I hope you have learned something from that. That you have this, that if you consider that something's in your mouth, that's in your esophagus, that's in your stomach, that's in your intestine, still is not in your body. That must be absorbed through the small intestine, mainly through the small intestine, but must be absorbed through your digestive tract into your body, into your blood vessels. And only then is it inside your body. So the digestive system has two main functions. The first is to break down the food. That's what the teeth, the saliva, the stomach acids, and the enzymes are all about. And then you have to absorb those nutrients and energy into your bloodstream. Whatever you don't absorb comes out the anus. You're drawing. So if we take a closer look at that tube inside the tube within a tube. This is here, this opening you see here. That would be the tube that's inside. Right? That's still outside, still part of the outside. So here, this is all still part of the outside. Where the outer skin, these outer layers here, they separate. This part here is separated from the inside your body. This would all be inside your body through these layers of skin tissue. It's not really skin tissue, it's more, there's smooth muscle, there's lymph nodes that have white blood cells. Obviously, if you're eating something, you want to protect your body from invaders like bacteria and viruses. So there's all kinds of lymph vessels and white blood cells surrounding the digestive tract, trying to keep at bay all the bacteria and viruses and fungi that you might put into your digestive system just simply by eating. This tube, this whole process is all about taking that food that's here in the center and absorbing it into the tissues, into the bloodstream. So you see you have arteries are in red and the veins are in blue. They're surrounding all the what we call the space is called the lumen, is surrounding the space that has the food in there. And as the enzymes and the acids and the mastication or physical breaking up of the food, as it makes it so tiny, so small that your body is able to absorb that food into the arteries and veins. You're able to get that food into your bloodstream, and that blood then is taken to the liver where it's further processed. These yellow tubes here represent the lymph nodes that are allowing for white blood cells to keep watch over bacteria or any kind of invader that may be trying to get into your body. The white cords here are nervous tissue that signal your smooth muscle here of the intestinal wall to contract. That is the autonomic nervous system that's telling your body, hey, start to contract, start to move that food down the pipe while it's being digested, so that finally when it gets to the end, you get something that's been as completely digested as our bodies can digest. So now let's take a look at the whole process. So you ingest the food. Ingest means you put it in your mouth. So there's the food that you're putting in there. It goes down your pharynx, which is kind of an area that combines it has your trachea and your swallowing and your breathing's happening here at this pharynx, kind of in between place. Then it hopefully goes down the esophagus. And the esophagus, the main function in the esophagus is swallowing. Peristalsis in the stomach, the esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestines. That just means the movement, the squeezing of the muscles to move that food down that tube. You see, it's still outside. This red stuff is your food, and it's still outside. Your mouth is chewing it up. That's that mechanical digestion. The stomach churns, actually undulates and moves it around. And then you have the segmentation of the small intestine, has different segments that help move it down. Also helps to kind of break up the food. You see, as the food twirls around, helping mix it up like a big cake mixer. Get all that food nice and mixed up with the enzymes and the acids to help break down that food. Now, in the small intestines represented here, your main function is absorption. That food gets absorbed mainly into the blood vessels, and you have some things get absorbed in the lymph vessels as well. That's all in the small intestine. Notice the small intestine here. So this is all the absorption that's going on. The large intestine, your main function is to absorb what? H2O, water. So mainly water gets absorbed. Now, where'd all this water come from? Well, some of it you drank with your food, but some of that, you see these raindrops here, some of that water came in throughout your intestinal process. The water is a universal solvent, and you want to mix up the water with the food in order to help that digestion process. And so your body puts extra water into the intestinal supply, helps things keep moving, helps them digest, break it down. But when at the end it wants to pull that water back out, because otherwise what you're going to end up doing is dehydrating. So in the large intestine, you pull the water back out. And then in the rectum, you start to compile all this stuff that's left over. This is all the food that you had collected through your intestines, through your whole digestive tract, that you were not able to digest. Now here, of course, throughout the small intestine, large intestine, even the stomach, mouth, and esophagus, through this whole tract, you have all kinds of bacteria. Now, it's important to note that it's okay that the bacteria is in there because it's not inside your body. That's really an important concept here. That bacteria we can have a homeostasis. We can have a symbiotic relationship, a very close relationship with this bacteria. That's commensalism. In other words, that this commensalistic or mutually beneficial relationship with this bacteria and ourselves is able to happen because the bacteria are not actually in your bloodstream. This is the inside of your body. The tube here is outside your body. So when you poop and that stuff comes out of your butt, your anus, even though there's bacteria, even though 60% of that, as much as 60% of that feces is bacteria, that undigested food and bacteria was never inside your body. So it's really a key point. Okay, well, that's it for the digestive system. I hope that helped. I hope that put everything in perspective. And that's the stuff that's going to be on the test for the digestive system.